Hey everybody, today I wanted to go over 5 awesome Glock mods. Now these are just my personal favorites, yours may vary, because there are so many great mods out there, great third-party accessories, parts, and so on, and the Glock is relatively easy to work on. So these are just my personal favorites. The first would be the +2 base plate, which I guess is more of an accessory, not so much a mod, but it so radically changes the handling characteristics of the Glock. Glocks are inherently top-heavy, but if you add this little base plate down on the bottom, plus you have the added mass of the 2 additional rounds, it kind of anchors the Glock, so to speak. It doesn't quite bounce around in hand as much, and having the 2 extra rounds is, of course, dandy. It does stick out, and, it's obviously something that if that bugs you, then I guess this won't work. But if you are willing to put up with a little bit of an extension, it's so great. I actually found that I'm more accurate with it because of the way the Glock handles with a little bit of weight down low. And so it's just a great thing to have. I only load mine to 18, not to 19, the same way that my 17 round mags I would load to 16, because I like leaving one empty, both for spring fatigue and for ease of loading. So it's just a great accessory. The +2 base plate, really can't go wrong with it. Aside from that, I also recommend a reduced power safety plunger spring, or just remove it altogether if you live in a rural environment and you don't drop your Glock. Mine is out, as you can see here, so the safety plunger is just resting down on its own. And the Glock still has a drop safety in the rear of the gun, and I have never had a problem with this. I did also test drop it a couple times with a snap cap to see if it would trip, and it didn't. But like I said, I live over dirt, or I spend a lot of time over dirt, and it's not very dense, and I never drop my Glock. I have never deliberately or inadvertently dropped it in 8 years of having a Glock. So I'm like really safe, but you can see this is the drop safety in the back. You see that little shelf right here? Yeah, that's where the trigger bar crucifix rests on. See, here it is in the cocked position, and you'll notice that little shelf is now covered. So if you push down on the trigger bar, it's not going anywhere. You have to push back and down in order to trip the trigger. So, there's normally the striker spring holding this forward, so you don't have to worry too much about drops unless you slam it really hard into some concrete or something. Then it would trip it. But aside from that, I also recommend the 6-pound trigger spring. And if you're not familiar, the heavier springs actually make your trigger lighter because on a Glock, the trigger spring helps pull the trigger. It's very different than other designs. And so I believe the factory is 5.5 pounds. So when you get a 6-pound, it makes the pull about half a pound lighter because it's pulling half a pound for you. And I got mine from glockstore.com. They have really good prices, and also their trigger spring was said to be more durable. Like, there are some other brands that break, but theirs are supposedly just as durable as the regular spring, more or less. And I've never had a problem with mine, so I like it a lot. You can see it installed here. This just gives you an idea of how the Glock functions. You see how that spring is pulling on the trigger bar crucifix with you, right? So adding a half a pound of weight is essentially adding a half a pound of assistance. And it does make a big difference. I really like it a lot. It's a wonderful accessory. And it works, Also, the 3.5 pound connector should probably be the first thing you buy when you get a Glock. This is from the factory. This is an OEM part, but they're just not standard. It's got that little minus up top indicating that it's a reduced poundage connector. And it's just angled slightly different than the standard connector so that the trigger goes down more gradually. Some people say it makes it more spongy, and it kind of does, but it's well worth it because you drop about a pound of weight roughly. Also, polishing your internals. That's another wonderful mod. Flitz works wonders. You just apply Flitz, let it sit for 10 minutes or so, and then wipe it off, and then repeat several times over. And you polish right here, like if you look at where the trigger bar meets the connector. You can also polish the trigger bar main shaft, or whatever that's called, because that rubs against the polymer frame. So you polish all these areas, you get a better pull. So let's go ahead and kind of do an example here. with all these mods in, look at the trigger, a little bit of take up as always, but then a light release. Light, easy, and that means better accuracy for most people. These are just some of my favorite mods. If you have some of your own, let me know in the comments below.